See the steam coming out? And you can see it's nice and springy. The pastry is going to be nice and crusty. We all love samosas, don't we? So in today's video, I'm going to make vegetable samosas, and at the end of the video, I guarantee you will be able to make delicious homemade samosas at your own home. So here I have 2 cups of plain flour, and this I'm going to add the carom seeds. So give them a quick crush. It just helps releasing essential oils. And into this, I'm going to add some salt and add vegetable oil. With the tips of your fingers, you're going to gently mix everything into the flour. We are going to mix it until it looks like a fine breadcrumb. So just like this, mix everything together. You need to incorporate the oil into the flours just to give it a nice short crust pastry for samosas. It's really important that it's flaky and it's crispy. So the oil added into the flour will give that kind of texture to our pastry. The more you mix it, you will start to see it starts to resemble a fine breadcrumb, and that's what we are looking for. We need a good texture of this flour, and our pastry is going to be crispy if you do it properly. Yep. So just after 2 or 3 minutes of mixing, you see the flour gets crumbly, and that's what we are looking for. This is what it should be after mixing the oil. And now add water into it, and you want to make sure that you don't add all the water in one go. You want to add water little by little, so mix it slowly and gently. You want a tight dough. Yep. This is going to give our samosa crust a nice crispiness that is really important when you make samosas in your house. So once you see the water has mixed nicely into it, then add a little bit more water and start mixing again. We need a tight dough for the samosa pastry, so start mixing and you will see the dough will start coming together. If you think it's too tight, you can add a little bit more water at this point. Start kneading again. Dough is generally tighter than a dough of chapati or a naan. It's just like making a short crust pastry. You can get it out onto a flat surface and start kneading like this. So after 2 or 3 minutes of kneading, you see the dough is ready, and if you press it, it springs back, and that's what we're looking for. And now let it rest for about 20 minutes. Cover it with a damp cloth and leave it to rest for 20 minutes. My samosa dough is resting, and I'm going to make a filling now, and it is the filling that makes you crave for samosas. I'm going to need potatoes for that, and I've taken 3 red potatoes. I've boiled them with the skin. It's important that you boil them with the skin and then let them cool down. And I'm also going to need peas. I've taken frozen peas and I've thawed them. And I'm going to need some kasuri methi or dried fenugreek, garam masala powder, mango powder, cumin powder, chopped ginger, green chilies, coriander powder, turmeric powder, and salt. So peel your potatoes and then crumble them, because that's the texture I wanted for my samosas. So you don't want to mash them, so just with the light hands crumble them. So pick any bigger chunks and break them into small ones. Now in a pan, add vegetable oil. And when it is hot, add cumin seeds and chopped ginger and add peas. Add your peas and cook them for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then add turmeric and cook it for about 30 to 40 seconds. And now add boiled potatoes. And add your rest of the ingredients. So I'm going to add green chilies, mango powder, coriander powder, garam masala, and toasted dried fenugreek. Give it a crush, and at the end add salt. With a light and gentle hand, fold everything. You can break any bigger lumps into small ones, and I can already smell the nice aroma. The garam masala into samosa adds an amazing flavour. And to add some freshness, add some fresh coriander and fold it into the mix. Filling for the vegetable samosa or potato samosa is ready. We'll let it cool down in the fridge until it's easy to handle. So my pastry is ready and my filling is ready. Now I'm going to start making the samosas. The process is simple. The dough has nicely rested, and if you see, it's nice and firm and springs back. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll it into a nice thin stick. And you can see it's nice and springy, and but still firm. And I'm going to cut it right in the middle and cut into a small chunks. One by one, start rolling between your palms into a nice and small round ball. You can see they all are roughly the same sizes, and there are some cracks on them. It's absolutely fine, and once you roll them out, it's going to be fine. And with a damp cloth, cover them. Now take a dough bowl and press it firmly and spread it nicely. Press it a few times and then start rolling it out. Roll it with the firm hands and make sure that you press the sides with the rolling pin. Once it's spread nicely, start rolling it into an oblong shape and make sure all the edges are thin. And then cut it right in the middle. Take the first half in your hand, stretch it a little, and then bring the right hand side inside. Apply a little water on it, and then bring the other edge on it. And then open a pocket and add a little filling of potatoes into it. Get a little press. Do not try to stuff it too much, otherwise your samosas will bust open when you fry them. And then at the bottom edge, apply a little water and then close the edges. And now dust a plate with a little flour and then leave your samosas to rest on it. To give it a nicer finish with the fork, press gently and seal the edges. Samosas are ready to be fried. Give them enough rest so that the edges seal together nicely. You can leave them in a fridge for about 10 to 15 minutes before you start frying them. Put your pan on heat. Make sure that it's on a medium heat. It should not be too hot. One by one, lower them into a medium hot oil. Make sure that there's enough space between them and they don't stick together. So keep stirring all the time to make sure that they're cooking from all the sides, and you want to cook them nicely and you want to brown them from all the sides. The pastry is going to be nice and crusty. Also make sure that the flame is medium because you want your filling to be hot and steamy inside. Once they get to this color, it means they are ready. You can see they are nicely blistered and they are very crispy on the outside. So drain them out onto an absorbent paper. It is so crusty on the outside, and the pastry is nice and very crispy. And when you break it in, and you see the steam coming out, and this is how a samosa should be. I can smell a nice aroma coming out of it, and they are going to be really tasty. These are my vegetable samosas for you, and they are easy to make and they are delicious. They are crispy. Do give them a go and do let me know how you get on. I look forward to hearing back from you, and see you soon.